In this video, I'm just going to walk you through how to do the Red Sky embroidery kit from our limited editions range. Now, a bit of a heads up about these kits. These are our advanced limited edition kits. If you haven't bought one of these yet, then I'm afraid this is now completely sold out. We don't restock these designs. These ones are real challenges. They're pieces that you will stitch for a long period of time, and they use loads of different stitches throughout them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through how our instruction booklet relates to the design. I'm not going to show you how to stitch it because there are so many stitches here, that video would be about 10 hours long. Instead, what we have on the website are loads of videos showing you how different areas are stitched, so you can go refer to the specific videos and then you use this guide. But I'm going to talk you through all the sections. Now, within your set, the key things you do need to have are, you're going to have all your embroidery threads. And your embroidery threads here are numbered up as follows. So you can see we've got all our numbers in here, and these are numbered up to match what's on the plan. So I've got my colours 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they all match up what's here. As I go through the guide, I'll tell you things like, you need to overstitch these lines in colour number 2. That's colour number 2. This is colour number 2. So I've written throughout here the colours you're going to use, as well as colouring all the sections in to match these. So everything should match up to the bobbins here, and then you've got your guide. Now on our YouTube, we've got videos showing you all these different stitches. So all I'm going to do for you right now in this video is just talk you through the two pieces side by side. Now on the reverse of your instruction booklet, you do have a high-res picture showing you the finished design. And this is just for you to use as a reference. You also have some detailed shots here where you can use those as references. But really importantly, on the website, we also have loads of photos of this design. So you can go zoom in and you can really see in detail what's going on in different areas. So don't feel like you've got to rely on what you can see in this video. Do go use all the pictures on the website. So first up, let me just talk you through. We're going to work across the shape, showing you how what's written here relates to what's stitched here. So first up, we'll start with our shapes at the end. And these trees are what we use sort of throughout the design. So you see we've got the same repeating motifs. So once you've done one, you've done them all. And these are stitched quite simply with a chain stitch down the centre and these individual straight stitches coming out either side. Now the way you need to do this is you need to do the straight stitches first. Once that's all in, then you overstitch with the chain stitch, and then you're just filling in these central sections here with your satin stitch. Satin stitch you use all the time. And so you see the key thing to bear in mind with each of these is the fact that you need to do your chain stitch after you've stitched your first outer leaves. The only one that's slightly different is this big one, because we've got a stripe here, but it's just a stripe in a satin stitch as you've done before. Now, these sections here, when we come to the houses, the two houses are both stitched in the same way. So you'll see here in the booklet, I say these sections of the building should be stitched in a basket stitch in colours 6 and colour 8. So again, what you would do is you'd go to your box of threads and you would say, right, I need colour 6 and I need colour 8. And you can see they're the colours that you're going to use for the base bits of this house. The base bit of the house is stitched in basket weave. And if I just pull this to the side, you can see what I've done here is just stitch the basket weave in the sections that are printed, not the whole way across. So on your printed fabric, you're only going to do it in the sections, not the whole way across the shape. And then once you finish, as I've done here, you will go in with colour number 2 and you're going to overstitch. And I've just got a really long strands of thread. You can do that shorter if you prefer, but you see all I'm doing is trying to disguise where the two lines of basket stitch join together. Then the roof is just done in a satin stitch. That's exactly the same method as is used in this second house as well. And that's also what's written out here. So this one, we say the house is done in colour 8 for the satin stitch and back stitch, that's the roof and the lines, and colours 1, 4 and 7 in basket stitch, and that's for the main bits of the house, the pink, the purple and the orange. Now, the next section is going to be the hills. These are the hills which we're going to need to fill in a random assortment of running stitch. Now what's hopefully clear through here is that for these 4 mounds that I'm pointing out now, these are all done in colours 1 and 8, whereas these 2 central ones here are done in colours 3 and 8. So you see, these ones are pink and red, these are purple and red, and it just adds a bit of difference. But this is how you can really see how it's actually done. So I just used loads of random lines of running stitch, and the way I do it is I just do a single line in one colour and then a single line in the other colour. Do watch, I've got a really good video on 2-colour running stitch, and really recommend you go watch that because it shows you the technique for doing this in a more efficient, quicker manner. So now let's just move along a bit further to the tree. And if any of you have done any of our limited edition before, then you'll be very familiar with how to do this section because this is all done in darning. And as I've got written here, we're going to do darning using 4 colours. So we've got colours 4 and colour 6 are my vertical stripes. And then I've got colours 3 and 5 doing my horizontal. So you see that here. So my vertical ones are my orange and my coral. And then my horizontal are my pink and my pale pink. And that's how you're going to do that section. Now, what I've written here is where we slightly differ between the plan and what's embroidered on the piece. And that's because I wanted to offer you more of a challenge. Now here, what I'm saying is you're going to add an outline in a Hungarian braid. And a Hungarian braid is one that you may have used before. If not, we've got a really good video showing you how to do it. Effectively, it looks like a really fat chain stitch. And I've got an example showing you it in use here. So this is used on this design, and you can see that is a Hungarian braid. So it's really fat chain stitch. It's a lovely stitch, but can drive people a little potty at times. So actually on this one, I'm showing an easier option, which is just 2 rows of chain stitch. Now that's absolutely fine just to do your 2 rows of chain stitch throughout. One thing I failed to mention is that the whole design you want to stitch in 3 strands. We're not going to use 6 strands. You're using 3 strands throughout this design. But we do reference that inside your instruction booklet here, which shows you here how to split the strands and working with your different threads here. So let's keep moving along the design. Here we go. So these ones, like I say, you know, they're challenging, and that's part of the fun of it, is you're going to really push your skill set. If you've done night fishing, our limited edition that's paired to this, then you'll be familiar with what this is like, and it's a really fun project to get stuck into. So this figure, our lovely farmer here, we stitch in a whipped stem stitch, and I have a really great video showing you how to do this because this is a 2-colour whipped stem stitch. And by that, what I've done is I've actually done the base row entirely in the red. Then I've gone and whipped the rows in alternating colours. So I haven't had to do each row differently. I've just whipped all the rows differently in different colours, but I have the same base. Now, what I really recommend for this is that you stitch your base colour with 4 strands of thread and you whip it with 3 strands. It doesn't matter if you don't do that, if you haven't watched the video, if you realise too late. But what it does enable is it means the base colour comes through a bit stronger rather than if you use exactly the same number of strands on the base colour and the main one. And you can see here, I've said this, I said use a base stem stitch in colour 8 and then whip the rows in alternating 1 and 5. So please do watch the video to show how we go about doing this. Now, the one area where there's a slight misreading is that on the hair here, we say the hair is in French knots in colour 6, but actually we meant colour 3. 6 is an orange, pink is the 3. Now, it doesn't matter if you end up doing that in the orange. It will look just as good and no one will ever know. But apologies, that's just the one little bit where I put the wrong colour in there. So then we've got his just holding his staff, which is in a satin stitch again, colours 4 and 5. And then we get on to our next tree. And for our next tree, this is where we fill it in trellis work. Now, there isn't trellis work included in this booklet because it's quite complicated, but we do have the trellis work as a separate instruction video. So again, I really recommend you watching the video on trellis work, but it's dead easy. Looks hard, isn't actually. And the way you do your trellis work is you do lines of your stitches first, and you're literally just doing this as a grid. So your needle comes in one end, out the other, really long stitches. And then once you've got your whole grid in, you go over and you over stitch on every join. So you can see what I've written here is the tree is filled in trellis work in colours 4 and 5. That's 4 and 5. I've then said the individual stitches are crossed over in colours 1 and 8. And those are colours your purple and your red. And that's how you achieve the look of this, is this sort of random crisscrossing of the fibres and then also the little jewels almost in the middle. You're going to use the exact same method for your trellis work down here on these sections, but you're just doing single trellises. So basically we're doing single long crosses and then we're over stitching with a little single stitch for each one. So it's the same method down on this section too. Now, the main trunk of your tree is stitched in a stem stitch, and honestly, once you've been doing the rest, you'll think that is some light relief because it's probably one of the easiest parts of the whole design. And then you edging it in just 2 rows of chain stitch. And again, this is marked on the plan saying the tree is outlined in chain stitch in colours 1 and 8. That's colours 1 and 8, colours 1, 8 and 1. And then right along the bottom, you've got this whole border going the whole way along. Now for the border along the bottom, I really recommend stitching the satin stitch sections before you go ahead and stitch these elements. Now this is a complicated design. This is your one of our most advanced kits, and the limited editions are always this advanced. So it's going to take you time, but remember to watch the different videos showing the different sections. Refer to the plan as you go, look online at the pictures, but you see there's also these high-res pictures here showing you the different ways that things are done. And really, just want you to enjoy the process of getting stuck into this project. Don't feel a need to rush it. When it comes to framing your piece, if you did choose to get a framing kit with it, then what we want you to do is watch the night fishing framing guide, because the frame is exactly the same as the night fishing one. But if you have any questions about it, just send a message our way, and we really hope you enjoy stitching this kit.